There's no virus. There's totally no virus here. I mean, it's completely safe. And that's all we hear. And then it cuts off. And she's like, what was that? And they're like, we don't know. It's like, we all know what that was. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content in my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games, I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video. But now, my friends, we must go ahead and get to tonight's review, chap. So, for those of you who don't know, I've reviewed several of the cinematic adaptations of Resident Evil that have been either directed or produced by Paul W. Anderson and starring his wife, Mia Jovovich. I've reviewed 3 of them, chat. The Resident Evil 1, which is just called Resident Evil. Resident Evil Apocalypse, which is the second one. It's kind of like a very super loose adaptation of Resident Evil 3. And Resident Evil Extinction, which might be my favorite, which is basically Resident Evil mixed with Mad Max. Like, you know, George Miller's Mad Max. That's basically what it is. And this is Resident Evil Afterlife, chat, which I've never seen its full context. I have seen clips online. You know, all the weird shit that he put in there. This is when the franchise really said, yeah, fuck those games. I mean, they already did by the first one. But this is when they really doubled down. It's like, no, fuck these games. Fuck these games. We're going to put in aesthetic things in there you recognize. Like 5. Resident Evil 5 is, referencing is throughout this entire movie, chat. For whatever fucking reason. Bad Shield with 5 bits. Chris. My wife. Fair enough. Fair enough, Bad Shields. Hope you and Katie or Mila Jovovich are doing very well. And thank you for the 5 betties, too. So this is my first time actually sitting down. Yeah, it was a bug in my mouth. It flew in my mouth. I'm fine. Now I'm infected with the T virus or G virus, whatever the fuck the virus is in this movie. But this is my first time actually sitting down watching this, chat. So I'm kind of like a lot of you guys. You know, this is my first viewing experience. Maybe you watch recently, you want to get, you know, hey, you knew I'm reviewing this movie today, and you're like, well, I want to watch a movie before Chris does. So we're on the same fucking playing field, chat. Isn't that amazing? But chat, I must ask you, before we go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty details, how many of you have seen Resident Evil: Afterlife, Resident Evil, the 4th film? The 4th film in the Paul W. Anderson and the wife, Mia Jovovich series. Very curious. Bad boy, the thing I remember most about Resident Evil was they ripped off my favorite death from Cube. Yes, they did. Boy, fucking did they. Bad Shield's meme. Until I've seen bits and clips of it, and so yeah. Originally, I was like you. See, Matt, the only thing I know about this movie is that video of Red Letter Media laughing their ass off at the end. Yeah. We'll get to the ending of this movie. All I'll say is sunglasses can be a weapon. That's all I'll say. Oh, Lord. That's the really end of the film. Guess I have not. Oh, you're in for a treat. Ace Rock, maybe? They're basically all the same to me at this point. You know what? I could see that. That makes sense. I totally could see that. Leon! Oh! Leon! No Leon in this. I thought he was in this one. He's in the next one. I think he's in the next one, and that's it. I think maybe he dies. I don't know. Spoilers. I don't know. Chris Harris, I have. My mom and I actually did a marathon of all 6 movies this past fall. Oof! Alex Bernal, I have not. Judas, I have, and all I remember is the black guy dying. Black guy dies in every movie. Well, maybe. Maybe. Maybe you misremembered. I saw this in the drive-in, says Deadpool. Interesting. Oh, wow, okay. D.D. Darkslayer saw this years ago. It was a piece of shit. Yeah, this movie came out in 2010, chat. So this movie's going to be 11 years old. I was like, geez, this movie came out in 2010? Well, it makes sense, because didn't the third one come out in, like, 2007? So I was like, oh, yeah, I guess it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I saw it, and it makes me sad, Jason. Don't like it, but the soundtrack is good. It's pretty good, says Edman. Brando, parts of it on TV. Same. I think that's how I did it too. Dark Status. I have seen them all. There you go. I haven't seen any of the Resident Evil movies. They all blend together for me. That's fair. No, I stopped watching the films after 1. The third one might be worth a watch. The million with a million of his wives. Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll get to that, Jeff. I got a lot of problems with this movie. Just thinking about it, I was like, this is kind of fucked up. I got a lot to say. Man, just think of the 5 biddies. Thank you so much. Gabe's not saying, what's your favorite video game series and why is it not Resident Evil? It's Mass Effect, the trilogy at least. But Resident Evil's up there. I love Resident Evil. At least a lot of the Resident Evil games. Not all of them, but a lot of them. I've seen them all, but only rewatched 1 through 3. Bat Shield, Think of My Base. I saw this in theaters with my very Christian aunt, mainly because she liked Wentworth Miller. Yeah, he's in this movie, chat, as a secret character. We'll go into details about it, chat. But no, it looks like I like this. We got a variety of people, those who have seen this, those who have seen maybe clips of it online, which I originally was like you before I saw this earlier this morning, chat. And then those who have not seen it. So this is cool. This is very cool, Chad. I like the variety of people we have here, Chad. This is, I have my opinion on these films so far, Chad. Is just like, this isn't really Resident Evil at all. And like the first one is the most like Resident Evil, kinda. After that, Apocalypse is a very loose adaptation of Resident Evil 3 and a little bit of 2. And that movie fucking sucks. I hate that movie. I remember I reviewed that. I was like, this movie, it's boring. I don't like any of the goddamn characters. And I think I gave that movie some old bullshit, maybe. And I think I gave the original one like a rental or high rental, maybe. And then I did Extinction, which is on my YouTube channel. All these are on my YouTube channel, I believe, right now. And I think I gave Extinction like another high rental. Perhaps. Right. Anderson always seems to pick and choose which plot threads are canon and retcons them in the next. Yes, he does. He's like, oh yeah, shit. Fuck. Yeah. But that's the thing about this movie, I will say. Like, every movie feels like, other than with the wife, Mia Jovovich, it feels like a restart where it's like, okay, you have these set of characters, for the most part. And I'll use it. And then they just kind of like, most of them just go, that maybe they'll be in the next one, but I'll kill them in that film. I'll fucking murder them all, and we get like a new set of characters. That's like kind of that's a thing that Paul W.S. Anderson does. I will say he does carry characters over from like 3 into this one. They do survive, but the thing is, when you hit the 2 film quota after that one, you're like you're fucking lucky if you get 3, unless you're the wife. If you're the wife, then you'll survive, kinda. But if you're not the wife character and you've been in 2 movies at most so far, then you're fucked. And you're going to die in the 3rd one. That's how this shit goes. Because I'm like, okay, I know a lot of characters who have hit the 2 quota now. And so their card is coming up now, chat. So who knows? Their number is fucking up. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And so this is my first time actually sitting down and watching this movie, chat. And I remembered like going, what the fuck? And the thing is, this was during the period where the Resident Evil franchise was in trouble, like overall. Let me take you back, Jim. I'm going to take you back to the year 2010, okay? This year, in 2010, chat, what happened just like 12 months ago saw the release of Resident Evil 5, chat, which was like a far departure from the survival horror roots of the franchise, chat. A lot of people say that it happened in 4, and I agree. I mean, you started to see it change, to start to see it shift over, be more of an action franchise. That's absolutely fair. I mean, we can criticize Resident Evil 4. I love that game, but it's the truth. And Resident Evil 5 said, yeah, fuck that. It's an action franchise now. And where it was a co-op thing, and Chris Redfield was punching boulders, and he fought Wesker, who had hentai. He ejected hentai in his tummy, and he fought him in a volcano, and he killed him with a rocket launcher. It's like, what the fuck is happening? And really what happened, Chad, what happened is that the Resident Evil games became like the movies. That's what happened. Because Capcom said, well, these movies are doing really well. And the thing is, chat, they did do very well. Critically, yes, despised. No doubt about that. But commercially, each film, every single film in this franchise did well commercially, chat. This movie was made for $60 million. And you can tell it's made for $60 million because there's some cheap fucking effects. I mean, you see that green screen constantly. Like, I'm like, oh my God, this movie is not aged well. But they keep them fucking cheap. They're about an hour and a half. They're 90 minutes long, about 90 minutes, chat. Honestly, probably like 10 minutes of screen time. So they're all about like an hour 20, really. You get the audience in there fast, boom, you make your fucking money. Made $300.2 million in the box office, chat. So it was a huge success. Did well on VOD. So, I mean, Capcom went, well, fuck, if the movies are doing so well, let's just make the games like the movies. That's what they did. And that's when we got 6, chat, where fucking Leon was fucking doing flippy jumps and punching Chris Redfield. And there was a whole bunch of hentai monsters, and they were doing kung fu. It's like, what happened? I mean, that's what happened, chat. I really do blame Paul W.S. Anderson and the wife, Mia Jovovich, for all the things that we saw in the franchise. Thankfully, the Resident Evil franchise did correct itself, chat, with 7. And we are currently sitting here now with something like Resident Evil Village, I'm really enjoying. Still has that action elements, no doubt about it. But this was the state of the franchise, chat. It was not great. Yes, the games were, whatever. They sold well, sure. But it was not the Resident Evil that we all loved back in the day, of course. And the movies were just, yeah, fuck that franchise. We're just using the name. We're putting fucking the wife in here, and boom, let's go. That's what it is. We do see the return of some characters. Claire Redfield, she's in the fucking movie. We see the appearance of another legacy character who gets shit all to do. Like, listen, if you're a legacy character in the Paul W.S. Anderson and the wife movies, the Mia Blavojevic movies, you're tertiary at best. You are in the background. You actually step aside so Alice, which is her Project Alice, can go mosey on over and slaughter everyone and defeat the bad guy. That's what Alice does. And so I'm like, that's kind of shitty. I never liked that, chat. Darcy, thank you for the biz. We got Boulder Punchy Chris because of these movies and complete global saturation. Yes, we got Wesker O-Face, very much so. Wesker plays a big role in this film, chat. We'll get to it, chat. We'll get to it. But you can already tell what kind of my opinion of this movie is. And just thinking about it, it's like, there's some really fucked up shit. But I got to get you caught up, chat. I gotta get you caught up. So, oh my lord. So in these movies, they're very loose adaptations of the Resident Evil franchise, chat, obviously. You have the Alice character, who's kind of like the audience avatar character, chat. She used to work for Umbrella. And, you know, Umbrella plunged the world into chaos. The virus was released, yada, yada, yada. We get this whole opening montage of the past movies and everything to catch you up. You know, Resident Evil 1, Apocalypse, and Extinction, all that jazz. It starts off like a music video. Because the start of the movie takes place in Japan, and it's like pouring fucking rain, and you get all these guys and, you know, just all these people just walking around, and you have this one girl who's just standing in the rain looking like, and it's like, what the hell's wrong with her, chat? She's a zombie, and she goes, oh! And she starts fucking biting and nomming on guys' faces, shit. They're like, oh! And it's like, oh, shit. And then we hear Mia Blavojevich's just, you know, emotionless voice narrate the opening of the movie. Umbrella unleashed a plague in Raccoon City 4 years ago. Raccoon City was destroyed along with their secrets, but the plague and the T-virus escaped along with me, and the whole world plunged into anarchy, and now there are only a few survivors left. But I have struggled. It's like, it just goes on. It's like, my God, Jesus Christ. Like, I don't mean to be a dick. I don't mean to be an asshole, but she would not have the career she has without him. I mean, it's just true. It's fucking true. Without her husband, without Paul W.S. Anderson, she would not have been, it wouldn't have happened, chat. I'm sorry. She's not a good actress. I know multi-pass. I know. People love her for The Fifth Element. I get it, but I'm just like, oofa, boy. Oh, boy, chat. And so she goes on, and so we cut from Japan, which is, which was, prosperous and shit. It's 4 fucking years later, chat, and it's, it's plagued by zombies and everything. And we find out that Japan, funny enough, is the headquarters of Umbrella, chat. And we see these 2 snipers, and they're just sitting on top of these Umbrella snipers, and all they're doing, chat, is just sniping zombies. And these 2 guys are going back and forth. By the way, they're speaking Japanese, but there's no subtitles for them. So I don't know what the fuck they're saying half the time. Katie, is this one Retribution my favorite? You like? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I might get some fans in here. That's fine. Hey, like what you like, dislike what you dislike. That's fair. That's totally fair. I'm just saying how I feel about the movies. But no, if you like these movies, like, listen, I never want to shame anybody for liking these movies. You enjoy them. Listen, they are very much action films. I'll be positive about this. Hey, it features a female character in a really cool position of power, being a badass, and we don't really get, even when these movies are coming out, we don't really get a lot of those. I mean, they're few and far between, I think. So I'll give that to the Alice character. But again, Resident Evil already has very powerful female characters in the series, so why didn't you just use them instead of just relegating them to the background? But I'm getting away from my point. I will say this: Alice, she's a powerful character, and she does a lot. She is the guiding force. She is the thorough line. She is the main plot line through these movies. I will say that. But we see these 2 Japanese snipers, chat, just going off, the Umbrella snipers. And the thing is, they're speaking Japanese. They don't have any subtitles, which is weird to me. So I have no idea what they're fucking saying to each other. But then this one guy, and they're looking at each other through each other's scopes, like night vision. And you hear this one guy go, oh, because he was like, oh shit, was he taken out? And then guy was like, what happened to you? Are you okay? And then he's like, oh, because he sees like a shadow come above him. He's like, oh, he's getting torn apart. And then we go inside the underground, the subterranean, I was going to say Capcom facility. Might as well be Capcom facility. But Umbrella facility, chat. It's this huge labyrinthian-sized building underneath the ground. And you have all these guys who are like, you know, they're beeping and bopping and booping. And then who comes up, chat? Albert D. Wesker. Albert Wesker, chat. And he's like, give me a status report. And they're like, oh, sir, we've lost 2 of our snipers on the rooftop. Some shadowy figure got him. He's like, why wasn't I informed before? It's like, we thought it might have been audio interference, chat, but we could confirm that they were indeed taken out by a shadowy object. He's like, well, let's get some fucking people up there. Let's see what we got. Like, all of our communication on the outside are down, sir. Oh, no, according to our readings, they're coming inside of the building. How they're doing that, we have no fucking clue. They just are. Luke the Boss, thank you so much for the 10 middies. I will say she's a better OC character than Cole. Yes, I'll say that. I agree. Luke the Boss, I'll concede that point. Yes, she is a better original character, audience avatar than Cole Young. Wesker for the win. I love him. Thank you, Gabe, for the 5 middies. I love Wesker too. I don't know about this one, but I get it. And so they're saying, Wesker's like, send our guards up to the fucking front door. The elevators. Make sure that whoever this is does not get inside the facility. It must be maintained. Security must be maintained. Thank you. Thank you, by the way, to Jay Blazer for the following money, Huckbear. Or Wesker just ordered all the umbrella guards with their big shields. Make sure the guards take the shields because they'll be super effective against the enemy. So they all these guys, all these nameless fucking soldiers go, they all run up to this giant fucking industrial-sized elevator, chat. They plant the fucking shields down like the goddamn Spartans in 300, and they have their rifles raised. And they're like, oh, shit, here we go. And they're all lined up against the elevator, chat. But little do they fucking know that behind them, chat, in the ventilation shaft, a figure has dropped down, chat. And the elevator opens, and no one's there to go, fucking fire! And they start firing, chat, but no one was there. No one was there. And you had this one fucking schmuck turn around. Thank you, Dark Side of the 5 biddies. Appreciate that. You had this one schmuck turn around and go, oh, hey, that's her. And she goes, what up, boys? And it's just like, oh, boy. And then, chat, the next 10 minutes is just Mia Blavojevic. It's Mia Blavojevic, chat. And her just unleashing CGI hell upon these enemies, chat. Because she throws these, like, little ninjutsu, like, stars at him, chat. These, you know, little shurikens and things, and they're all CGI, and this is CGI from 10 years ago on a $60 million budget, chat. Now, you can do a lot of $60 million, and you can do a lot of great CGI of $60 million, but boy fucking howdy, they did not use it well on these fucking shurikens, chat, because she throws these shurikens, and they look so fucking fake when she throws them, and they all go inside, they're like, ah! They go through the Kevlar somehow. I don't know how. I don't know how they did that. That's what it was. That's why all these shots look so fucking weird. I didn't realize this was in 3D. But this was during the 3D craze when fucking James Cameron was saying 3D is the future of movies. And I'm like, no, it's not, James Cameron. Don't force it on films that don't need it. That's what this was, because there are so many weird fucking shots where things are being thrown at the camera. And I'm like, why is this happening? This is not in the other, I mean, it kind of was in the movies, but this is a lot. There's a copious amounts of it, chat. And it's because of the 3D. So you see these terrible, like 3D, but not really 3D, shurikens coming at these guys and go, it's CGI blood. It's all CGI blood. It's like, fucking Jesus. And she just slaughters these guys. She takes out these, and all she does, chat. I mean, I will give her this. Listen, to be fair, like, I'm a big fan of those 80s action films of, Schwarzenegger and Stallone, and all they do is spray and pray. That's what they do, and she does the same thing here, chat. She is spraying and praying, like, every which way. And she has, like, a billion fucking guns, chat, on her thick thighs, on her back, chat, and she's just mowing all these guys down, just one after the other. They're all fucking dead. They're all dead, chat. And eventually, though, they're all fucking dead, and you have this next wave of the fucking shield boys. It's like, hey, we have shields, we're gonna defeat you. And then she unleashes, chat, her telekinetic CGI brainwave and goes, wow, and she just explodes them, chat, because in the last movie, you've probably forgot, chat, in Resident Evil 3, actually it was in Resident Evil 2, because Lord Friendzone from Game of Thrones, he was the villain in 3. And I guess he's the villain again in the other movies. I don't fucking know what's going on. But at the end of 2, they see Lord Friendzone, and him and his fucking Umbrella employees, for whatever reason, gave her psychic. They gave her telepathic and telekinetic abilities, chat. I don't know why. and she's then uses that to explode people all the fucking time. And so this Alice just unloads and just kills all these guys. But then all of a sudden, she had this one fucking schmuck who survived the first group. He just stands up, just kills her. Shoots her in the fucking head, Chet, and she falls over dead. And they're like, dude, you fucking got her. He's like, yeah, I did. But then, Chet, because who fucking comes up behind him? 3 Alice's, Chat. If you will recall, in the last movie, Chat, when Alice goes to the underground Las Vegas, Nevada facility, Chat, there's a whole bunch of Alice clones. And I guess she just freed them and recruited them, and now they work for her. And so they're attacking the facility. And all these fucking Alice clones kill these guys. We then cut to all various sections of the facility, and they're slaughtering the Umbrella security guards and the staff and everything. We then cut to kind of like the hub where Wesker is with the security guys. And he says, everyone leave. If anyone leaves their post, I'll kill them. And the one guy says, but sir, we should leave. The facility's lost. And Wesker just fucking takes out his gun and shoots him. Just fucking kills him. And they're like, oh shit. They all go working. But oh no, Chad, because a whole bunch of CGI Alice. By the way, CGI in Alice is awful. They're falling from I don't know how this works. So they're fucking free falling from the top of the facility coming down. And they're just shooting down at Wesker and the IT guys. They're just shooting at the IT guys. Shit, the IT guys are like, oh, worst job in the world. They're all getting killed. And Wesker has these giant fucking just, steel magnums. Shit, it's like, Wesker, you trying to make up for something? You got a small fucking dick? Jesus. And he's just going bang, 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 bang. And one of the Alice's gets, she gets hit. And then the next Alice, she just lands. So there's no like bungee cord where it's gonna, it slows her down or something, or she's like, kind of go like sprinting. Like, no, she just lands on the ground, like no impact, even though she was falling, chat, from like at least 100 stories. It doesn't matter. Physics mean nothing, chat. Physics mean nothing in this movie. So she just lands there perfectly, and she starts taking out the rest of the security guards. But then Wesker, he pops her, chat. Wow. She goes down, and he walks over to her, but she had 2 grenades. She's like, fucking eat this, Wesker. And he's like, oh, no. And wow, explosion. And then we cut to another scene, and Wesker's okay. He's just a little fucked up. He's got like a few boo-boos and stuff, chat, but he's leaving the facility. He's just walking away, and he goes into like this helicopter plane. I forget what these are called, chat. The military uses them. I call it the helicopter plane because I don't know what they're called. This landing ship. He goes inside of there. He preps the whole thing. And you see all these fucking Alice's start to run out, like a whole bunch of them. They start shooting at his ship, but their bullets mean nothing, chat, because it's CGI. It's protected by the power of steel. CGI, chat. He's fine. Actually, I think my base physics is crying a corn because of this movie. Honestly, chat, I'm leaving out so many just flippy jumps and Alice just, just walking like this, like not looking at anyone, just shooting people. It's the whole movie. It's the entire fucking movie. Yes, thank you for the 5 biddies. And then, the CGI bullets aren't working against the CGI ship. Everything's a green screen in this film. Like, there's one practical set, it's the prison area. It's prison area and the ship we'll get to later. Well, even that's CGI for a lot of parts of it. But, my God, this entire thing is on a green screen. You could tell. You could even, they don't look right. Like, the actors' heads are like, there's like a blurriness. So it's like, oh, because they're behind a green screen. That's why. Batches, thank you for the 10 biddies. Looking strong there, Wesker. Yeah, right. Thank you, Ass Mode. Ass Mode, thank you so much for resubscribing. Wish I went to the Afterlife after watching this movie. Right? Oh, my God. So, the Alice's are shooting their CGI bullets into the CGI ship, and then Wesker has a button on the ship that's basically Purge Facility. And it's like, okay, you're gonna just destroy the facility. Fair enough. And he flies away. He presses the button, and it's like 10 seconds, and all the Alice's, all the clone Alice's, chat, are like, oh, shit, we gotta get out of here. Let's go. And then, blah, they all die. So, we'll get to something that really pisses me off here. I got an issue with this. I don't know why this is brought up before. This is a criticism of the movie. I'm like, this is pretty shitty of the original Alice. But all the clone Alice's die. And, okay, so they destroy the facility, right? This Purge? No. Fucking Wesker, he wants to be thorough. He destroys Japan. He just blows it up, chat. This giant bomb, which I don't know what it is. It's not an atomic bomb. But it just starts encircling like all of Tokyo, chat, until at least all of Tokyo, if not more, is just gone. It's just wiped out until it's just a fucking crater. It literally sucks everything up in the air and then goes boom, and then it takes everything out, chat. They basically create a whole new fucking, country right there. Just this giant fucking hole in the ground that used to be Japan. Meanwhile, so all the cool analysis chat, that big fucking cool reveal, you saw, okay, cool, whatever. You interpret how you think it's cool, you don't think it's cool, whatever. That reveal at the end of the third movie, like, oh, there's gonna be a bunch of Alice's now. That's done. That's over. It was 10 fucking minutes of that. And then, chat, we cut to the helicopter plane where Wesker is like, he's like snapping his neck and shit. Because, he got a little fucked up back there. But then who's in the back of the fucking helicopter plane? The original Alice. So she just stayed there while the rest of her clones did all the fucking hard work, and they're now all dead. So I think it's kind of fucked up that she just waited there and just sent all of her clones just to die. Like, those are people too. So I'm like, fuck you, Alice. I hope you die here. That bothered me. That bothered me. She was just on the ship. It was like, okay, sure. So all of her clones are gone now, I think. They might come back. They might come back in the other movies. I don't. Maybe they do. I don't know. But the ones that she had, the hundreds or dozens she had, however many. No, she had hundreds. She had hundreds of these clones because they were attacking the facility. This facility's miles long, and so for all I know, they're all dead. So it was a fucking death sentence. They don't. All right, fair enough. So they're all dead. And Wesker is like, I was waiting for you, Alice, Project Alice. He's like, Wesker, you'll pay for the sins of Umbrella. And then he's like, before I do, does this smell like chloroform? And he just stabs her with a needle, chat. Like, this person who has telekinetic abilities did not predict Wesker going in with a needle like this. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna get rid of your psychic abilities now. Because she's like, what did you do to me? He's like, because the audience thinks you're too overpowered, I'm just gonna take away all of your telekinetic and telepathic abilities. He just does it, chat, with that one thing. And she's like, oh. And we actually go inside of her body, not in a sexual way, to see what's happening. He's like, Umbrella is reclaiming his property, Alice. And we see these little microbes, and they're literally attacking the T cells, which, funny enough, are in the shape of a T. I was just like, oh, okay. Like the T virus that's inside her body, they're actually the shape of a T, chat. And it's eating them away and destroying them. And so all of her telekinetic, telepathic abilities are gone. Okay. They fucking, and by the way, Wesker is in full control of the situation. He has the T virus inside of him. He has a low dose. But he has super strength and shit. And so he's, just fucking hitting her around and shit, just punching her. And Alice just says, I just have one thing to say to you, Wesker. And it's like, what's that? He's like, I want to thank you. He's like, why do you want to thank me? He's like, because I get to die a human. And he's like, huh? And he turns around and he realized he wasn't flying the fucking plane. No one's flying the plane. Evie's like, didn't put it on autopilot, did nothing. And it's been just going headline. It's just going headline right into a fucking mountain. I mean, I'm like, not like it's going to skip over the mountain. No, like right into the side of a mountain, chat. It's going to, and that's it. And so then he's like, oh no. And he runs forward, chat. And then the plane hits it. Like we see in slow motion, the plane, its nose, this is my hand, this is the mountain, this is the plane, woo, and it starts to smush, and we see Wesker like, ah, and it's all CGI, and then we see Alice in back of him going, ah, and then big explosion. Take it easy for the 5 biddies. And the kind of laser writing, just nuke it. Now, care way to wrapping up the loose. They always do that in these movies. They almost did it. They do it multiple times in this film. And so the way, as fast as that fucking thing was going, it didn't like land and like, oh shit. Like even then, like no one was wearing a seatbelt. They'd all be fucking dead anyway. But it went right directly into a mountainside, just boom. And we cut, and we see Mia Blavojevic just walking out going, oh, my arm. It's like, are you fucking serious? And we just saw, it's like, okay, maybe I could believe, like, even though I don't. Her telekinetic psychic powers, whatever, saved her from the plane going the mountain. But we just saw moments ago, seconds ago, that she got her powers taken away from her. So how did she, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But I guess Wesker's dead, right? Right? Thank you, Chris. 5 minutes. Same shit that killed Jamie Foxx herself, just leaves people in my lead. She's like, ow, my arm. And she walks away. And then it's 4 months later, and she finds a plane. She just gets a plane. And she's flying around the West Coast, because that's the thing. So in the last movie chat, there is this message that's being sent out to the survivors around the world, around the country, where it's, come to Arcadia, Alaska. These coordinates. There is food, there's shelter, there's no virus, no zombies. We'll take care of you. And at the end of the movie, you had Claire Redfield, who was one of the legacy characters, and some other people. One character named Kmart, for whatever reason. And maybe others. I don't fucking know. They actually were other characters, but you don't see them again. And they helicopter out of the Umbrella facility at the end of the third movie, and they go to Alaska. In hopes of finding that. And so Alice is heading to Alaska to meet up with them, chat. And she's trying to get radio communications with Arcadia, but there's no fucking response. She's like, any life of the side of the West Coast, there's like nothing. And so she heads to Alaska, chat. And she goes to the coordinates that, Arcadia is supposed to be. And she lands there. It's a huge fucking field, chat, just filled with fucking planes. She's like, oh, shit, this must be Arcadia. And so she lands on the fucking, field. She gets out, and all the planes are abandoned. She doesn't see anyone. She just starts walking around. She goes around, chat, and she goes to she sees, this beach where the Umbrella helicopter is, where Claire piloted, along with all the other people, chat, Kmart, all those people. And she's like, oh, shit. She runs over there, and there's, no one fucking there. There's no one there. And she's like, I don't fucking understand. And so she sits on a fucking log, and she gets her little Sony handheld camera out, and she records this message like, I've been looking for my friends for so long, and I haven't found them. Arcadia doesn't seem to exist. I don't know what happened. Signing off. I don't know how long I can go on. I don't know how long I can make these movies. There's so much CGI. The husband won't let me stop. And she ends the message. And then, we get a shit ton of jump scares here. We see this fucking thing in the background. This person go, yeah, yeah, yeah. This mud person, chat, who is just covered in their own shit and piss, chat. They're the feces person. Just go, yeah, yeah. And I was like, who was that? I smelled you. And so she goes back to the airfield, and she sees traces of this fucking disgusting feces everywhere. And she goes to this plane, where the thing is it has this one door open, it's going She goes up there and she opens the door and goes, gah, gah! These fucking the CGI crows, chat, pop out and go grah, grah, grah. And she's like, it was just the birds. And then she turns around and goes, wow! Because then this woman who is covered in her own feces, chat, just jumps on her and starts attacking her. And she's like, what the fuck? And she starts fighting this person, chat, and punching this person. But then, chat, she sees through the layers of mud, feces, and urine that has covered this woman's face. And we learn, chat, this is Claire Redfield. And fucking Mila Jovovich is like, what? Claire? And she's like, oh my God, is she a zombie? We don't know. But then Alice, chat, she sees something, chat. She sees a mechanical, ruby-shaped bug has attached itself to her bazongas, chat. It literally... And this is from Resident Evil 5, Chad. It's from Resident Evil 5 when we see Jill. Remember that big twist in 5, which was so stupid, is that Jill had that fucking mechanical bug ruby thing, literally attached to her boobs. It's a tit bug. It literally is, Chad. It's attached to her boobs and it controls her mind. Same thing is on Claire, right over her bosoms, Chad. And, I was like, Claire, what is that thing? She's just going, Row! And then eventually she just punches her, and then she removes the bug thing. And she ties her up, and then it's later in the evening. Claire comes to, and she's like, what happened? What happened? Who are you? Who are you? Let me go. And Alice is like, you don't recognize me. Claire, it's me, Alice. Remember the desert? Remember Nevada? And Claire's like, and we get flashbacks. She's like, I don't know who you are. Let me go. I don't know who Claire is. I don't remember anything. I don't even know my own name. She's like, all right, whatever. And so at this point, it's the next day, and Alice is like, well, Arcadia is a fucking bust. There's nothing here. This is all a bunch of fucking bullshit. And so she takes Claire, she ties up Claire, puts her in her plane, and they fucking take off. They take off. And they continue on their journey. And eventually Claire's like, I'm sorry I attacked you. And, I tried to put my feces inside of you. And she's like, don't worry about it. I make sure to clean you off. Thank God. She's like, do you know who you are? It's like, she's like, no, I don't even know my own name. Your name is Claire. We were friends. She's like, I don't know that name. I don't know that name. What about Redfield? You know Redfield? She's like, no. That means nothing to me. You know who Kmart is? Remember Kmart? She goes, the store? No, the person. No, I don't know who that is. And she goes, well, I'm sorry for attack. I didn't mean to. Hey, can you free me? So you can free my bonds and so I can be in perfect, like, choking, strangling distance of you? And, you know, Al's like, let's get to know each other first. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be going to all the cities, like, just down the western coast. We're going to go to Seattle. We're going to go to, you know, we're going to go to Los Angeles, and everywhere in between. We're going to all those goddamn cities. So we all go down to Mexico and South America, all that good shit. And so they keep flying, chat. And they fly over this one thing, and they see something. They see something on a fucking rooftop. Oh, no, that's the thing, because they get like a radio contact. They get in like a radio contact. And it's like, oh, we're down here. We're down here. And they're like, what? And they're flying over Los Angeles. But by the way, Los Angeles just looks fucking gray now. There's no sunlight anymore. It's all gray. And there's like just a fucking sea of zombies, Chad. Like there's not a little patch of concrete that you could step on because a zombie is there. And they see it on this giant building, which is a maximum security prison. And apparently some people are contacting them from down there. And we cut to these people, chat, and we're introduced to a whole bunch of new characters you will not give a fuck about. Let me tell you what. Except one, chat, except one character. We haven't seen him yet, though. And we see these random guys. And they're like, oh, it's a plane. It's the plane. They're sending someone to save us. Oh, my God. Because you see it like they have help us scrawled on the fucking thing. And, you know, Mia Blavojevic, she goes down to prison. She's like, there's no way I'm going to be able to, land down on the street. And so she lands like, she's like coming in like super low to the prison. They're like, whoa, get out of the way. And she's like trying to land, chat, on the prison rooftop. And all these guys are like, move all this stuff out of the way. Let's fucking go. And then eventually she fucking like, oh. Like, again, this would be impossible, chat. She fucking lands in this thing, but she almost fucking goes over the edge. She's like, oh, the plane starts tipping over. Like, oh. Plane starts tipping over, chat. And all the guys there on the roof, they start grabbing on the plane to, like, pull it back. And eventually her and Claire are pulled back. And she opens up the cockpit, and she introduces, like, thanks for the save back there, guys. And they're like, oh, no problem. Are you from Arcadia? Are you here to help us? She goes, no, you don't understand. I have so much to tell you, but let's introduce ourselves. Let's get to know each other briefly so then you can die horrifically in about, like, let's say 25 minutes. And they're like, cool. Thank you for the 5 days. Every scene involving the plane all the CGI in this movie's bad. It's 10 years old. It looks shit. Everything's a green screen. It's not great. Deadpool, thank you again for the 10 biddies. Zombies are cool. What else is cool? The Walking Dead. So we're going to put a prison surrounded by zombies with one of the characters in a former pro athlete survivor character who's black. You nailed it. You nailed it. Deadpool. You got it. And we're introduced a whole bunch of characters, chat. We have the pro athlete / celebrity Luther West. I'm going to call him Lex Luthor for short, chat. It's Clancy Brown's ethnically mysterious Lex Luthor from the animated series. But we have Luthor West, chat. You know, you see his fucking billboards all around LA. He puts them out. And she's like, am I supposed to know who you are? He's like, you might have heard of me, Alice. And she's like, I don't actually know who you are. And he's like, points at a billboard like right across the street. It's like advertising Rolex or something. And she goes, oh, that's cool. We're also introducing, this is possibly Hispanic, maybe Russian guy. We don't know what he really is, chap. I don't know what he is. I was not sure watching the movie. I'm like, I don't know what you are. Your accent's going all over the place, man. We're just going to call you Disposable Ruski. You're Ruski. I'm going to say he's Russian for the hell of it, chat. We got Ruski over there, chat. We got ethnically mysterious Ruski. We're also introducing you to Creepy Benny, chat. Creepy Benny, who is the human threat in the movie. He's like, this is like we suddenly just crashed into another zombie film going on, and where you have the asshole member of the group, chat. The asshole member of the group who is wearing all black, chat. He's got like a weird fucking haircut. He used to be a movie producer. He cares about no one but himself. He's that guy. His name is Creepy Benny, chat, okay? We also use the character of Kim, who is Creepy Benny's former intern, but, you know, that was the relationship, so they're still trying to, make that happen in the apocalypse. We're introduced to Crystal, chat. She makes macaroni, and she swims real good. That's what she does. And there's other characters, chat. And, you know, Jill, or not, excuse me, not Jill. Let me get ahead of myself. Alice introduced Claire to everyone, and Claire's like, I don't want you to touch me, I'm confused. And they're like, all right, sure. And so they're like, so are you from Arcadia, right? And she goes, no, I just came from Arcadia. There's like no one there. There's no one there. And he's like, are you sure? Because we've been setting up flares all goddamn day. And she's like, why are you setting up flares? Arcadia's in Alaska. No one's going to see flares in Alaska. And they're like, no, it's not, dummy. Look. And they give her some, binoculars, and she uses them, chat, and she sees this fucking huge, like this giant boat, this huge industrial-sized boat, like sitting in, you know, Los Angeles Bay or whatever, and she looks over, and she sees on the boat, chat, it says Arcadia. She goes, oh, fucking shit, Arcadia's a goddamn boat. And they go, yeah, I guess it's been picking up people all along the coast. And fucking, she's like, that's where my friends might be. That's where Kmart might be. The store, no, the person. They're like, oh, fair enough. And they're like, here, they sent the last message they sent was 2 days ago. So here, check this out. And she listened to the last message. The same message we always hear, chat. It's like, we're Arcadia. You can come here for food and shelter. There's no virus. There's totally no virus here. I mean, it's completely safe. And that's all we hear. And then it cuts off. And she's like, what was that? And they're like, we don't know. It's like, we all know what that was. I know a zombie screech. Okay, chat, when I hear it. And I was like, all right. We're like, well, we got to definitely get over the boat. Can your plane take us? And she's like, it can only sit like one other person. But you can just go back and forth. She's like, we're not going to be able to get the fucking plane off the roof. It's not possible. It's physically not fucking possible for me to get enough fucking speed on this rooftop to then go out and fly. At least that's what we're led to believe, chat. We shall soon see if that is a fact. So they're like, well, so the creepy Benny's like, well, you're fucking useless. Fuck you, bitch. And he does his thing. And, you know, Kim, his assistant's like, yeah. And he leaves. And they're like, all right, well, why don't you and your friend, Claire, the woman who's covered in shit and her own shit and piss, can come down for some macaroni. Crystal's like, I like macaroni. We know you do, Crystal. We know you do. Crystal makes the macaroni. I like macaroni. We know, Crystal. So they all go downstairs in this prison, and we get the backstory. You know, the prison was the most. It's Walking Dead. It's the same fucking thing. It's Walking Dead, chat, again, where the fucking chaos erupted in Los Angeles, like it all did all around the country. They all go to the prison. They stay in the prison. They lock all the fucking doors. All the inmates were like left because they were like, fuck that, we want to be free, and they got eaten by zombies. Now they're zombies. It's the same fucking plot. It's the same thing. So they all go outside, or they all go down into like the mess hall area where Crystal, guess what, Chip? What's Crystal making? Macaroni. And so she starts putting on all the cheesiest macaroni you can make. It looks good. I'll say this, Chip. The macaroni does look fucking great. And it's like, thank you, Crystal. And then Benny, creepy Benny's like, move out of the way. I have this fucking line here. Give me my macaroni. I'm hungry. And she's like, okay, Benny. She gives him the macaroni, and he goes, sits down with Kim, and they start eating. And Claire, wants to, or not Claire, Jesus, Alice, chat, the audience avatar. She's like, so what's going on? What else do you guys do here? Look, I'm trying to get over to the boat. Is there a way? And he's like, I don't really know. I mean, I should probably introduce you to the rest of the people down there, down in the prison, like in the subterranean realm. And she's like, what? So they got to go down the basement level. So they go down the basement level, chat. And we were introduced to another creepy character named Wendell, chat. Wendell, all this character does, chat, is read nudie magazines and jerk off. That's all he does. And when Wendell comes in there, what was he doing, shit? He's reading nudie magazines and trying to jerk off. He's like, oh, shit. Oh, hi, guys. Hi. Like, Wendell, please don't jerk off right now. He's like, I'm sorry, okay? Jesus, just, I'm nervous down here, and I hear them in the walls, man. They're in the walls, man. And like, okay, Wendell, why don't you go ahead and relax? We'll go check it out. Alice, why don't you meet our last prisoner occupant right there, the last prisoner in L.A.'s prison complex? And she's like, okay. And so she goes over to this big old cell, chat. It's like this, it's this one cell in the middle of the fucking room. And she goes over there, chat, and this guy just walks over, chat. He just walks over. He goes, wow! And he puts his hand through the slot. And he goes, nice to meet you. My name is Chris. Chris Redfield. And we all go, ooh! Chris Redfield, chat, which first of all, no fucking prison can hold Chris Redfield, chat, because he would just punch out of it. That's what he would do. And this character is played by Wentworth Miller. which is funny because he was in a prison show, chat, Prison Break, for like, what, 5 or 6 seasons, however long. And so he's like, I know it's funny, I'm in here, right? And she doesn't take the handshake. And she's like, well, you're a prisoner. He's like, I'm not a prisoner. Actually, I was a part of this elite group called STARS. I was a part of STARS. We were deployed around the country. We came here to handle the situation in L.A., and our ground zero, or, our base of operations, chat, was this prison. But then everything went fucking crazy. All the guards let all the prisoners out, and the prisoners mistook me for a guard, and they beat the shit out of me, and they threw me in this cell. And then I got locked in the cell. Everyone died, and when these guys came in, they thought I was a prisoner, but I'm not. I'm a member of STARS, and, she's like, oh, that's fucking cool. Well, listen, I don't trust you at all. He's like, listen, I can get you out of here, okay? You just gotta help me. Help me help you, okay? And Alice is like, I don't know about that. I don't think that sounds good. I'll think about it. Meanwhile, fucking Lex Luthor and jerking off Wendell, they come back and they say, it was nothing. Don't worry about it. Hey, why don't you guys just rest here? That's what you need. Meanwhile, chat, we cut outside the facility, like immediately just cut outside. And you know what we fucking see? Deadpool, thank you so much for the 10 biddies. Actually, like the Wentworth Miller's Chris Redfield. Would have been cool to have him and the other characters play a more faithful Resident Evil movie. Yes, I'm fine with him as Chris. I think that'd be okay. I think he's a good actor. I have no problem with that. They just don't have they don't have him do anything in this movie, because Alice does everything in the film. I agree with you. But chat, we cut to 2 random scenes. Well, one actually is related to what creepy Wendell was saying, where we see the zombies are actually burrowing underground, trying to get underneath the prison. That's what they're doing. The next scene, chat, is we just cut to this random guy, this random giant fucking behemoth, chat, who has a hood over his head carrying a giant hammer. And now you've seen this enemy. He was featured in Resident Evil 5, Chase, in the first chapter of Resident Evil 5. You can fight him. You can kill him. He's like a mini boss, basically. But it's like, why is he here? Where did he get that hammer? Why is he so big? Nothing is explained. He's just there because he's from the games and he looks cool. That's about it. He doesn't even look cool in here. He doesn't look, but he's just there. But all the zombies are like, he's our fucking leader. They all decide he's our leader. It's like, all right, whatever. Eventually, though, Lex Luthor, he takes Alice down to the shower room, where she can, take off all her dirty clothes and they've been covered in feces from Claire. And she can bathe in there. And she's like, don't worry, no one's going to jerk off to you. All right, I'll see you later. And so he leaves and she takes off all her clothes. And then we just hear, someone's jerking. And then she takes her fucking pistol, Chad, and she moves like the curtain away. And it's fucking Wendell. Wendell's right there jerking, Chad. This fucking guy. Wendell, now is not the time. Now is not the time to be jerking, okay? But while this happens, we see underneath the tiles of the goddamn floor, they start to give way. And Wendell's like, what's that? And it fucking bursts out, chat, and this fucking zombie just grabs jerking Wendell. And he's like, this is what you get for jerking. And it drags him down. It just drags him in the subterranean lair. And then fucking Alice, she's got to go ahead and start shooting all these fucking zombies, chat. She's like, fuck you, Wendell, you dead. And she just starts, shooting them all. And so everyone comes in, and they're all fucking panicking at this point. They're like, oh, God, this place is not safe. We got to get to Arcadia. We got to do it. Now's the time. And so Claire's like, Jesus Christ, Alice is like, all right, well, let's just go and talk to this Chris guy, and he knows a way to get out of here. It's like, Benny's like, that guy? Oh, we're going to regret this. I don't think we should do that. She's like, it's our only option. He knows more about this place than we do. He knows how to get out of here. He knows how to defeat the zombies. So they go there, they fucking free Chris, and he steps out, and he sees Claire. He's like, Claire? And Alice is like, oh, shit, that's your sister? See, I didn't think when I heard Redfield, I didn't think that you guys were related, because I thought that'd be a hell of a fucking coincidence, and really dumb. But no, Chris recognizes his sister, and he's like, Claire, come here, let me hug you. And he tries to hug her, and she just grabs his hand and goes, and he goes, just breaks his fucking hand. And he's like, ow, Claire, why would you do this to me? She's like, I don't know who you are. You're not my brother. He's like, Claire, you know me. You know me, okay? I'll tell you something that you would absolutely know about me, Claire. She's like, what? You know that I love punching boulders. And she's like, oh, Chris! And there you go, Chad. It only took the boulder punching for her to realize that that is her brother. And they hug. And, that's beautiful, chat. And he's like, okay, cool. So this is what we gotta do. This is what we gotta do now, guys. So we have like a big military-sized vehicle behind this giant door right here, okay? All right, we can all pile into this big Humvee, go out there, start blasting all these zombinos. But we'll need a shit ton of weapons. Now, the weapons are in the subterranean, like, section of the prison, like, even below me in, like, B2. The problem is it's all flooded down there. It's all flooded. So we're going to have to go in there. We're going to have to dive in the water, hopefully not fight any water zombies because, I mean, what's the chances of a water zombie appearing, right? I mean, it's Resident Evil, right? So you guys open this big fucking door, but wait for us to get all the weapons out. And everyone's like, cool. And so Alice and Chris, they go to they open up the elevator shaft. They see it's fucking flooded. And Chris says it's 2 floors down, so we got to go down there. And then Crystal still's like, I'm here too now. Hey, Crystal, we don't want any macaroni. She's like, no, I'm not going to give you macaroni. I can swim real good. And it's like, that's great, Crystal. You can go down here with us to establish a threat of something that will probably eat you. She's like, cool. And so they all dive in the fucking water. And they start swimming and shit. They start swimming, and then we see something fucking moving in the water, chat. Like something's down there. It's like, all right, here we go. And they all go up. They come up. They come up, and I don't know how there's oxygen down here. I don't know how is there fucking air still in this. This place has been like this for 4 fucking years. How then is there still air, a pocket of air in this compartment? It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, they come up. They all come up. And they start walking, and Crystal's like, oh, God, I love swimming. And then this fucking creature jumps up and goes, Row! And it just grabs her by the face. It just drags her in the water. Crystal is dead. She is taken out, chat. She is killed. And they're like, whoa, who thought that would happen? Everybody. And oh, by the way, all the zombies in this movie look like the ones from Resident Evil 5 where they open up their mouths and they have that, like, hentai, like, oh, like squid. It looks so bad. It looks bad in the game, and it looks bad, especially here, chat, because it's all CGI. Let's just go over the regular, like, nomming zombies. But no, we got to give them fucking squid mouths or whatever. And so they start shooting them, and Crystal's like, Whoa! And they shoot fucking Crystal in the head. God bless your soul, chat. She loved to make macaroni, and she loved to swim. She swim good, chat. Eventually, they go to the fucking door at the end of the hall. They open it, and it's filled with fucking weapons. Its weapons go, all the weapons are there, chat. Every single fucking weapon you can imagine. They get all, I don't know how they're going to get them all out. And I guess they just go through the water again. It doesn't matter. Eventually, everyone, we cut to the group outside, and the hammer guy shows up. Hammer time! And the hammer zombie just starts smashing on the front gate. And Luther and all the rest of the people, they start just shooting him in the head, and nothing's fucking working. They shoot him. He's just like, that doesn't mean anything to me. You keep shooting me, it doesn't matter. They put so much molten hot lead inside of him. He's like, ain't gonna work, buddy. And so Luther and some other people, they go and check on Chris and Alice, while Rusky, ethnically mysterious Rusky guy, Creepy Benny, and Kim go and get the big door open to get the truck ready. They open that up. What they see, chat, is that the engine is completely fucked up. Like, and they're all like, oh, shit, don't tell me that thing has to go in there. He's like, and the Rusky's like, it needs to go inside truck. That's what it needs to do. And they're like, well, can you fix it? He goes, it'll take maybe a week for me to fix. And they're like, we don't have enough time. And then Creepy Benny goes, well, there's only one thing we can do now. I must betray all of you. And he just shoots him. He just shoots the Rusky. It's like, and Kim's like, why'd you do that? And Benny's like, I don't really know. He just kills him. Who would have thought, Chad? Creepy Benny would do that. So the rest of the group, they find, I don't know, they find, what's his name? Alice and Luther, or no, Alice and Chris. They get the weapons. They're like, oh, shit. But then they hear someone shouting on top of the roof. They hear like, no, don't do it, don't do it. They're like, what's going on? And they go to the fucking rooftop. where they see that Kim is begging Benny not to use the plane. Benny's like, get your ass in here, Kim, come on. He's like, you shouldn't do this. And then Benny's like, oh, no, there they are. He goes, yeah. And so Benny's going to fly the plane himself. That is his plan. And so I thought, okay, I know how this is going to end. And so he takes off, shit. He takes off. And again, Alice established there's not enough fucking roof for me to have enough speed to then fly this fucking plane. Benny's like, fuck that. Because he rolls the plane. We're at the fucking building, Chad. He's just going right down. He's like, oh, God. And so he pulls up, but he, like, kills a whole bunch of zombies. He's like, the propeller just grinding up zombies. And he just flies away. And I'm like, Benny, you asshole. He's like, ha, 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 ha. And he flies to the Arcadia, Chad. That's where he wants to go, to the ship. And then all the zombies are getting, at this point, the hammer guy, he broke in. All the zombies are swarming the area. And so we get a big CGI fight where all Mila Jovovich is doing, Chad, is she's shooting against a green screen of CGI zombies. And she does a Matrix where she ties this cable around her tummy and she runs off the roof. While everyone goes, to try to survive, she sacrifices herself and she runs off the rooftop. All the zombies follow her and then she lets off grenades and explosions. That's what happens. And then she runs across the building. She runs all the way up the building again and she's perfectly fine. She then goes back down to the building where everyone is heading to the bathroom area at this point. They shut the big door where they see the Ruski guy is dead. And like, oh, that's too bad. They shut the door, whoever he was. And they all go to the bathroom because the only way out now at this point is through the tunnel the zombie made through the sewer system. Remember, from the bathroom? So they all go there. And they all go one by one. Chris goes in there. Who else? Chris goes in there. Luther goes in there. And the last three people I think are there right now are Alice, Claire, and Kim. And Kim, he's like, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. It's like, it's okay. You'll be perfectly fine. He's like, really? And then the fucking hammer guy shows up and just squishes him, chat. Kim is killed. He gets squished. He just gets squished, chat. And at this point, we got to have the fucking team up between, we got to have slow-mo, shower, all the water to show off the Bazoongas fight. And, Claire and Alice just get into a slow-mo fisticuffs with the hammer guy. That's what happens, and it's terrible. They're just fucking punching him, and, hammer guy's like, I don't really care. He hits fucking Alice. And by the way, Alice has these weird guns, and she has these sawed-off shotguns where she just fills them with quarters. Which I guess she doesn't have more ammunition. She just fills them with quarters. And so she's constantly shooting them at the zombies. And you see, like, a quarter or a nickel or a penny embedded in the zombie's face. It's like, okay, it's interesting. But it's like, but they shoot coins. It's like, I just, all right. I don't know if it was a reference to something. Nah, I don't remember. And so she's trying to shoot the that's the thing. So she gets thrown. She shoots the guy in the chest. She's like, whoa, and he hits her. And then she slides the gun to Claire, and Claire goes between the guy's legs, Chad. She pops him. His genitals just explode in a sea of blood, viscera, and coin. She's like, whoa! And then she, she gets up and she fires at it again. He's like, whoa! And then we have the fucking team up of Alice and Claire just looking at him. He's like, my balls! And they walk up to him, and Alice points a shotgun in his face, and it explodes in meat and coins and shit. And so he's dead. He's dead, Chad. Coin shot. Exactly. It's like, okay, wow, all right, there we go. He's defeated, Chad. Now, I would have asked, how the fuck did he make? Who gave him that hammer? How did he make it? Does nothing to explain. And so they all go inside the sewer jerkin hole. They'll go in there, Chad. And now, I don't know how this happens. So somehow, Luther, even though Luther was in front of them, he ends up behind them. I don't know why. But it's like, that seems like a bad edit. Coin shot. Is that a thing? Is that like a thing from the games? It might be. Thank you, Bill Baggins, 50 biddies. It might be a coin shot. Hey, you gave me 2 quarters right there. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. That's very kind of you. You gave me 5 dimes, 50 pennies. Pow, right to the face. And so somehow Luther gets behind them in the tunnel. I don't know how that happened. But they lower Claire down. They get Alice down, and then Luther's the last one to, like, the black character, chat. He's the last one to, like, okay, I gotta jump down here, guys. All right, let me get, like, let me make sure. Is that a zombie? Ah! And then he gets taken by a zombie, chat. Luther gets taken, and the tunnel collapses on itself. Oh, great. Thank you, Ty, for the 2 minis. I think the only RE live action movie I like was Retribution. That's the next one, right? He gets got. He gets Ty. Thank you for the 9 minis. Pow, right in the kisser. Thank you, Chad, for your generosity. So he gets dragged off, and Alice is like, they're kind of setting up like a romance between Luther and Alice. I don't know, maybe. Like, she got over Carlos pretty fucking fast, because she was all about Carlos Oliveira, chat, in 2 and 3, but I guess that's done. He died. And you know, Christopher Redfield's like, it's too late. And so then they just walk out of the sewer, and they find a boat immediately, a boat with fuel and everything. And they head over to the boat. And they get on the boat, and it seems to be abandoned. They find the plane, and it crashed, but Benny's nowhere to be seen. They don't know where. I guess he made it. They go inside the command, you know, I don't know, the crew deck where it is, where they fucking steer the ship. And they go up there. It looks like it's been abandoned. They go on the radio. They see where the last message that played, and they're like, there's nothing here. It looks like nothing. But then they check the ship logs. And apparently there was an abandoned ship order like 2 days ago, which makes sense because they said that they lost like the last time that the prisoners, the prison group, heard them was 2 days ago. So they just abandoned ship. But apparently, chat, according to the ship logs, there are 2,000 passengers still on here, but they don't see them. And so they go where the ship tells them to go, was in the bowels of the ship, chat. They go down there, and they see this big fucking giant white industrial door. What's in the middle of that fucking door, chat? An umbrella symbol. It was a trick. It was a ruse. Umbrella was arcade. They're like, oh, shit. And they open the fucking door, chat. And they're in a giant white CGI room, chat. As far as the CGI can be. As far as the eye can see. And they step into the CGI white room, chat. And they're all like, oh, look how big it is. It's so large. And they go to this terminal thing. And they see it's a log of all the passengers, a Pelly umbrella. And Claire's like, guys, suddenly I'm having a flashback. And Claire has a flashback. And she remembers how she landed the umbrella helicopter down on the beach and where the boat was, where Arcadia was. She thought, I thought they were here to rescue us, but they were umbrella. And then they put ruby spiders on her boobies. And we saw one of the ruby spiders boobie planted on Kmart. On Claire, except she kicked and she just ran away and she started just, you know, shitting all over herself. That's what she did, Chad. That's what it makes you do. You avoid your bowels and that thing attaches to you. And there were other characters, there were children. There were fucking children on that helicopter, and we never hear from them again. So we assume they just died, unless they're still there. Like, that's the thing, Chad. Like, in Resident Evil Extinction, like, Claire, Kmart, and a bunch of kids are in that helicopter, and it leaves. And now, those fucking kids are dead. I'm telling you what. Unless they're there. I don't know. It's like, who cares? It doesn't matter. You didn't know those kids. You didn't know those fucking kids, so fuck them. They're probably all dead. And they realize, according to the log, that they find Kmart. She's here. And she's in the facility, but Umbrella wasn't here to save people. They were here to experiment on them. So they free all the fucking people. All the tubes come out, like these crowd tubes. They go over to Kmart's tube chat. She's all like, she's all freaking out. She doesn't know what the hell's going on. It's like, Kmart, it's us. Kmart, she's like, the store? No, you, the person. And they're like, oh, and then they help her. And Alice, she senses something is wrong. And she goes, chat, she sees that some of the tubes are just filled with blood, viscera, and gore. She's like, what the fuck? She touches it. She goes, whoa! And she sees these people that were screaming in horrible pain and things. She's like, what? And she walks forward, chat. She walks forward. And she presses a button, and this big fucking door opens, and it's filled with, like, all these, the helicopter ships that we saw before. She had the helicopter planes. She goes to another fucking big door. All CGI. Everything's CGI. She opens this last big door. And it looks like it's a pretty, again, giant fucking white CGI room. And there's all these, like, touch screens in front of her. And one by one, they all lift up. It's like, hold on, give me a minute. First one, second one, and the third one. And who's sitting, chat, right in the middle of his white ivory Apple Store throne? Albert Wesker. Complete global saturation. Alice, I've been expecting you. She's like, shouldn't you be fucking dead? We hit a mountain. He's like, well, shouldn't you be dead, Alice? And she goes, yeah, I should. He's like, I ingested more of the T virus, Alice, and that's why it's kept me alive for this long. That's why I live. And then he snaps his fingers, and the two fucking Doberman Pinscher Resident Evil 1 dogs come out. They're like, he's like, no, down, boys, down. And he's like, I wouldn't want you to hurt my babies. It's like, okay. And then he's like, I have other people that want to hurt you. And then creepy Benny, creepy Benny, like a fucking Schmeagle monster pops up and goes, and he has his gun pointed at fucking Alice. And then she's like, oh, Benny, not looking too good. I think maybe he's been infected with the T virus. I don't fucking know. And she's like, Wesker, what have you been doing? He's like, when I applied more of the T-virus to my body, it left me with an insatiable hunger. And so I'm constantly fighting it for control. But I need to snack sometimes. I get hangry. He literally gets hangry. And he needs to snack. He needs to eat something, chat. He gets cravings, and he needs to. And apparently, he's like, in order to satiate my cravings and to eliminate the T-virus's lust for blood, gore, and viscera and man meat, I will consume you, Alice. And because she has the T-virus. I don't know. She has the T-virus still in her. I don't know. And I'll eat you, and I'll make me better, I guess. All right. She's like, all right. Thank you, Deadpool, for the 5 minutes. There are only a few thousand people left in the world. Umbrella's just fuck with people. It's like, why would you do this? At this point, be like, all right, guys, let's not experiment on it anymore. It's like, what's the point? That's a good question. Why is Umbrella still experimenting? I mean, I get Wesker, he's evil. I'm like, I want to be a god. You know, and Lord Friendzone, who apparently is still alive. I want to be a god too. It's like, I get that, but you'll be god over nothing. You'll be god over just zombies. Like, you'll have nothing left. You'll be god. You'll be king to a planet ravaged, and that's all you have. Your kingdom will be of ashes. So I don't understand their plan. What's Wesker's plan? Like, I get Wesker in the game. He's like, I want to be a god so I can rule over everybody else. And if they fuck with me, then I'll threaten them with my viruses. Might either be T-virus or G or Ouroboros or what have you, or Las Plagas. Or I guess Las Plagas, well, Ouroboros is based on Las Plagas. But you get it. It's like, okay, I'm going to rule over all you fucking people. I understand that, megalomaniac. But there's, like, literally no one left. There's only a few 100,000 people, maybe 100,000 people left. It's like, why the fuck do you want to keep fucking them? I don't get it. And she's like, you'll never get away with this, Wesker. Because I have friends. And then fucking Claire Redfield and Chris Redfield walk up. No, they don't. They just appear out of nowhere. That's the thing, chat. They appear behind Wesker, and you have no idea where they came. They're just there. And he's like, yes, Chris and Claire Redfield reunited once again. It's like, all right. And he has no relationship with these characters. He's never met them before. Maybe he knows of them. Like, Chris, because, Albert hated Chris. Like, that was his ultimate enemy. Like, they despise each other. I guess Jill, too. Jill as well. Chris and Jill. But there's no relationship between Wesker and the Redfield siblings. And he's like, well, let's go ahead and have a CGI Matrix anime fight. I have the first move. And his first fucking move, chat, to initiate the fight. Wesker is a pregnant person eater. He is. That's exactly what he is. He's like, my baby demands food. My tummy hurts. And so his first move, chat, in this battle is to take off his sunglasses. Where you take off his sunglasses. We're wearing sunglasses inside, loser. But he has the weird cat eyes because of the T-virus, which is from 5. And his first move is to turn around and go, and he throws his sunglasses at Chris and Claire. And Chris just catches him and goes, huh? And then Wesker just punches him in the face. He punches Chris in the face, and he punches Claire. He takes both of them, puts them in crowd tubes, and just puts them inside the ground. And that's it. And he's like, where were we, Alice? Like, just completely making them as irrelevant as possible. And then we get CGI fucking, Wesker, Claire, or not Wesker, Wesker and Alice fight. And it's filled with CGI, it's filled with kung fu fighting. None of it looks good. Cue the Mortal Kombat rave music. I wish it was that cool. But they go at it, and he has a giant octopus hentai living in his tummy. Witness me! Nick Diaz, the chat tag. Thank you so much for the raid, good sir. I appreciate that. Thank you. Chat, please do check out Nick Diaz. He won the Backbones DD community. Make sure the guy who was thank you, Nick. Appreciate you, good sir. Narjo, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing very well. In the middle of my review for Resident Evil: Afterlife. Alice and Albert Wesker are fighting. And so Albert Wesker has a giant fucking hentai octopus living inside of his body. He goes, I'm gonna eat you, Alice. And he tries to eat her, but she picks up her fucking gun and shoots him in the head. And he's like, that hurt. But he's like, he's still alive. And during that time, though, when he was down, because he has to get the bullet, the tentacles, like, all right, I'm going to get out of there, buddy. Don't you worry. She gets Chris Redfield and Claire Redfield. She's like, okay, you guys, you can have like you can be part of the last 10% of the fight. And they fucking team up and they fucking defeat Wesker. And Alice just is like, you guys go ahead and take care of Wesker. Also, she throws Benny. She throws Benny into like a dead body. He's like, oh, I'm knocked out. She walks away because she's like, I don't need to kill you a second time, Wesker. And then Claire and Chris just walk over Wesker and they just go, they just shoot. They fill him with molten hot lead right in his tummy, chat, in his head, everywhere. And then they leave. And Benny's like, well, I can come with you guys, right? And they go, no. They punch him in the face. They fucking lock down the door and he's stuck in there. He's like, you guys will pay for this, I swear. Like, pay, what are they going to pay? How are you going to make them pay, man? And then we cut to Benny because, you know, the other two. Oh, by the way, Alice also fought two of the fucking dogs, too. And they're the dogs from 5 because their whole bodies just open up and they're all like piranha plants. And she kills them. They're dead. But while Benny is, you know, complaining at the door, he hears something going. He goes, I just want to go home. You want to go to the fucking ship. And then Wesker eats him. Albert Wesker eats him, chap. Albert Wesker, then, he's alive. They didn't kill him. They didn't know how to double tap. Jesus like, nah, I was craving. He eats creepy Benny. He then goes to one of the helicopter planes, and they're like, oh no, Wesker somehow survived and is getting away, and he just fucking leaves. He just leaves, and you know, Claire and Chris and Alice are like, oh well, what are you gonna do? Thank you, didn't the mummy kill a character called Benny the exact same way? Yeah. Oh, no. Benny survived. Benny got eaten by bugs at the end of the movie. He served the mummy, but was like his slave. But the bugs ate him at the end of the film because his greed is the thing that truly killed him. And because he kept going back for treasure, he could have left and survived, but he wanted that money, baby. And so, you know, Wesker goes away, and they're all, like, on the boat, and they're like, what are we going to do now? And Kmart's, like, all derpy and, like, all the people are, like, walking around. They're all in white, and they're like, what are we supposed to do in the scene, Paul? It was like, just fucking walk around and shit. You're good. And Alice is like, we're going to live up to the name of Arcadia. And she puts out a message to all the people, like, everyone, Arcadia, we have food, shelter, no virus. Even though there's virus there. Very much so. And you got all the virus. The virus is there. She says, no virus here. Bullshit. And she puts out the message because they're gonna be the new captains of the Arcadia. Yay! All wonderful, chat. The only thing of the is Chris. The problem with the double tap is they shot the fuck out of him. It was too much. It reversed. They shot him too many times. He came back. And so she puts out the message, and then all of a sudden, chat, we see this fucking flock. I don't know how you call a group of helicopters, like a flock of those plane helicopters just coming in. And, you know, Claire's like, what's that? And she's like, nothing good. And we cut to the flock of helicopters coming in. All the derpy people are just walking around the boat like, what are we supposed to do now in this scene, Paul? It doesn't matter. Just keep doing what you're doing. And we cut to the helicopter chat. And who is in command of the helicopters chat? Because what we first see are her bosoms with the ruby red mechanical spider. And the camera pans up, chat. And it's Jill Valentine. And she's back from Resident Evil Apocalypse to continue to prove the fact that she is a terrible actress. And that, my friends, is Resident Evil Afterlife. Movie sucks. It's a bad movie. Oh, I forgot. Luther survived. Luther comes out of the sewer pipe, and he's like, yeah, that's what a superstar does. That's what he literally says. And he watches as the helicopters come over to attack the ship. He's alive. He is alive, chat. I forgot to say that. He does. So they did not kill the black man, chat. He did not die off screen. He did indeed survive. He beat the trope. He beat the stereotype. Good for Luther West, chat. But that, my friends, is Resident Evil Afterlife. As of this moment, I think this is definitely the worst of the Resident Evil films. I still have 2 more to do, of the live action ones, I should say. It just doubles down everything I hate about these movies, like the terrible CGI, the slow motion, the disrespect to the legacy characters, I mean, it does everything wrong. Everything all the other films did wrong. Films did wrong. It doubles down all that. It quadruples down it, chat. Yeah, it's just, I mean, if you want to watch it, it's a quick watch. Quick watch, about an hour, 25 minutes. It's really how long the movie is. So he won't spend much time with it, but overall, it's a waste. There's so many other better things out there, Resident Evil, right now, chat. So many other games. So many games that have better stories and better characters. And I mean, you know, just fun. They're more fun to play and watch. So it's the worst. It's the worst as of this moment. It's the very definition, chat, on the DT scale, Jen, that double toasted scale of some old bullshit. Boom. The worst is yet to come. You're like, Chris, we have such sights to show you. Oh no. Oh no. Leon! Leon is in the next one, apparently. Isn't he? He's only in that one, right? Does he not show up in any of the other ones? Like, he's just like, yeah, I guess I'm here. No aid at all? I don't know. She's not in this one. She might be in the other ones. I don't know. At this point, chat, I have no idea. All I know is I think Lord Friendzone shows back up. I know that. And I think Michelle Rodriguez comes back somehow. I think like some dead character. Don't they clone dead characters? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I know that there's a cloning thing and where they clone dead characters and they come back in cameos, I think, or to fight Alice. Maybe. Lord Friendzone is in one of them. And I think that's all I know. Clone that black guy who got lasered in the first movie. Why? To get lasered again? Is he a good guy? And he's only in 5 too. That's weird. That's weird, chat. I'm so happy they're done making these. Me too. Well, we are getting that new Resident Evil film, which I'm still very concerned about, chat. Yes, I know it's an adaptation of the first and second games, but the fact that it's adapting both at the same time, like it's one movie, I'm like, that's a lot of material. So I don't know about that. Like, had they did one at a time, I'd be a lot more confident. The fact they're combining them, I'm like, that's weird. And if you have to combine any of them, combine 2 and 3. But I don't know. I don't know, Chad. I don't know. But there you go. That's the review. Chad, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm feeling pretty tired. I'm feeling it right now. I don't know if I could do gargoyles. I'm feeling really tired. I was losing it towards the end there, Chad. I'm like, I don't know if I can make it through here. I think I might have to. I think I might save gargoyles for tomorrow, so I have extra time to stream. But I'm feeling it. The juice is useless. I need some more juice, Chad. I gotta freshen my beverage up. I'm good. I got my shot today. I got my second shot today, and this is the one that really hits you. My arm is so sore right now, like it actually hurts, and I'm just sleepy. I'm really sleepy. So if you don't mind, cheat, I'll review Gargoyles tomorrow. But I will play Resident Evil Village with you guys. I will do that. It'll be a little easier for me. Because I want to give you the best review possible, chat. And I felt like I was tapering off with the Afterlife. I was like, this fucking happened, and then that happened. You know, they fought, whatever. Her arm hurt 2 more days? Great. Great. So, chat, I will finish the game? No, I didn't, sadly. The power got cut yesterday. It was a thunder lightning storm outside. Went out for 3 hours. Leon! So I'm going to finish it today on stream, and then I'll do a hardcore playthrough. So, chat, please bear with me. I will be right back. Thank you for your support. Stick around, you crazy kids. More Resident Evil is about to happen.